Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Stephen West, the superintendent of Winona Area Public Schools. I'm back with Making a Grade. Hello, ladies. How are we doing? I have two new guests here. They both are parent educators for our ECFE program. One, Katie Smith. Welcome back. I hear you're a pro at this, and
I've been on the show once or twice.
okay, so this is true. And Ann Revo, welcome.
Thank you.
And I'm really excited about this segment. We get to talk about ECFE. We just had a birthday. A 40-year anniversary of sorts, is that correct?
It is.
Okay, but first let's start with, let's let the community get to know who you two ladies are. So tell us a little bit about you, Katie, how long you've been on the job, and we'll go from there.
I actually have been working for a long time without knowing, and then you came to Goodview School and you said that I've been working for 26 years and I got a pin. So this is solidly and with great data. I am on my 27th year at Early Childhood Family Ed, which just seems remarkable to me. I was going to stay just a little while until I figured out what I wanted to do when I grow up, but
When you grow
I'm
up?
grown up. and
Where's
I'm
your
still
pin
there.
at, by the way?
Where's my what? Oh,
Your
my
pin.
pin. Yeah.
I'm telling you, community, they don't do what
I know. I
ask
have
them.
to tell you, it's tough to wear little things with kids because they get very curious about it. And so it's small enough to swallow, which makes me nervous. I hold babies a lot.
That is such an ECFE answer, so I accept that.
Thank
I
you.
accept that.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, and I'm Ann Reble, and I've been with the district here as parent educator for about 10 years now.
Okay,
Yep,
so
and I'm at ECFE, and I'm also with the team parents at the ALC.
excellent. So recently we had a governor proclamation. One of you want to talk about that proclamation around ECFE?
I'd be happy to.
Excellent.
So the Governor Mark Dayton, who has been pretty amazing as a supporter of early childhood programs across our state, had decided to give us that week of October 20th through the 27th as ECFE week in Minnesota. And so it was a really great opportunity for us in Winona and for programs all over the state just to kind of show off a little bit.
Absolutely.
And a nice way for the governor and policymakers to reflect on the work that we do, knowing that it's an important piece of a school district and an important piece of the achievement gap and the opportunity gap in Minnesota. So we were happy to eat cake and bowl in the gym and have dignitaries come and celebrate with us. It was a lovely day at ECFE. We had lots of early childhood family educators, parent educators come back to visit with us that day. So those are really important milestones for us.
I'd like to just talk because you mentioned closing the achievement gap, and I think it's important that our community understand that it's very difficult to close the gap the older a child gets. So if we can attack this issue at the youngest age, that's where we will see the biggest bang for the buck. Ann, would like to talk about it?
Well, I know research is showing us that those early years, the 0 to 3, are so important. Their brains are blossoming,
That's
lots
right.
of things are happening,
Yeah.
and they're forming very important relationships and get excited about learning.
Yeah.
And parents are the key part of their lives at that time.
Yeah.
So that's an important part of ECFE is being able to catch families early on and let them know that their jobs are important and that learning doesn't start at kindergarten. It starts at home right at birth. So
It's been wonderful to watch that spectrum finally swing to our earliest learners to say we have to get everybody balanced out here at the youngest birth to 4 years old. Yeah.
ECFE research will also tell you that when parents walk their little kids into school, they keep walking into school
Yeah.
in first grade and in sixth grade and as their kids are in high school. And so we make school comfortable for parents as well, which I think is a really important piece. When your parents love school, kids love school. And so when you share that opportunity together, I think it's a really powerful message that parents give to kids in terms of with an action of, I will hold your hand, we'll walk in together, you get to go to your class and I get to go to mine too. It just says from the very beginning, school is really important and we both value it.
You see here, Winona, we got some talented folks here with our babies here. So let's talk about ECFE in Winona. A quick history about it, because I hear it kind of was born in this area as well. So one of you ladies want to talk about it?
I'm just trying to see if she's going to jump on it, otherwise I can. It doesn't matter.
No, we're not 40 officially this year in Winona. There was a couple of grants that went out that 40 years ago. We're 36.
36,
And so
okay.
we started in Central Elementary, and I think it was called the Sarah Terrell Parenting Program.
Okay.
I wasn't there at that time, but we had some people that came back for the birthday party that were, so that's awesome.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And they started with the funding at the Central Parenting Program. The dollars came from the state, put us underneath community education. We changed our name to ECFE, and we've been here since in a lot of different places in the district and met a lot of families and kept them along the way.
Wow. I'm learning just like you, Winona. Anything you want to add?
Well, I love that we're 36, that we have an older sibling, right? Because nobody really wants to be 40. But and I love that in Winona and lots of other ECFEs all across the state become part of the community and reflect what the community needs. And so although ECFE might look really different in Prior Lake or in Burnsville or in Duluth and Hibbing, in Winona we're driven by what parents want us to be as much as what we want our program to be. And so it really is unique, ours to the state, because it reflects who we are as Winonans. And so it really is kind of a baby too. Winona's baby is ECFE. We help raise them, but also we reflect what the community needs from us.
So let's talk about that. So what's unique? I mean, you mentioned unique. What's so unique about Winona? What's the same? What's different about our program compared to others? And we're 36 years of age officially. So what is the same from way back then? What's different now? Look at you two ladies.
I'll take the way back one. So there's a format for ECFE that you're going to find tried and true all over the state.
Yep.
We strongly believe in that parent-child activity time. Come on in with your child and hang out and learn through your child's eyes what makes them float, what they're excited about, where they like to hang out in the room. And so that's just wherever you go in ECFE across the state, you'll find that. You'll find circle time and all that embedded in that time together and embedded in our early childhood program are such great readiness skills that kids are learning. Separating, getting along with your peers, cleaning up after yourself, taking turns, all that great stuff. And then parent ed. And Winona's one of the few programs in the whole state that has 90 minutes of parent ed. So we've been lucky enough to be on the master contract since we started. And so our teaching minutes are the same as Scott Halverson's at the high school. And we go and
just
we
throw out
go and
Scott's
we
name
go.
like that,
I
right?
do. I always do. And he appreciates it every time that I do. And so we're really rich, I think, in our parent ed and in our early childhood ed. We've got a great staff. And I think that I would say, and I think it's true, that we have a staff that's willing to try anything. We're happy to say, I don't know, this might not work, let's give it a try. And then we can backpedal when it doesn't. We're very flexible in this community, and I think that's pretty amazing about working at ECFE in Winona.
Wow. Anything you want to add to that?
She does a good job.
She does do a good.
Well, I also think, though, and maybe it's later on your list, but that we really do parent ed from parents who are teens all the way to grandparents who are
That's right.
parenting and providers. So we take a different spin on parenting. Certainly, if you have given birth to or adopted a child, you are welcome in our program. But we also try to include all of the folks who provide care for Minnesota's kids. So we work on building the capacity of providers in our district, grandparents, parents, and community members as well.
So here we have it. I have to tell you, I was blessed to get into some ECFE classes, and fellas out there, I was the only guy, so I'd love to have some men in there with the moms.
On that day.
You can
On that
come
day.
tonight.
Yes.
You can come tonight and there'll be dads in the
Okay.
room.
Or Joy,
come on
Daddy, and
over.
me.
Okay,
Yeah, you have to
excellent.
come again.
Okay, so what do you see as some of the greatest challenges that our parents have with their children these days? I mean, things have changed with kids, so what do you see?
I think it's really important that we build a community. I think when people transition into the parenting years, all of a sudden there's a new challenge that they haven't faced before, and they feel a little isolated. And when you become a community and feel like you're part of it and you have people to support you, because maybe grandpa and grandma don't live in your backyard anymore. Maybe they're 3-4 hours away. ECFE is real important to build that community for them. I think that's an important, and that's a change. Families are more, they move a little bit more. Jobs take you different places. And so it's real important, I think, that we're here to help them build a community, whether they've been in Winona 25 years or if they're new 2 months. And that's different, I think, than maybe it was 36 years ago.
Childhood has changed pretty dramatically over time too. It's really tough, and I think parents are very concerned about shielding their child from violence in the media and in our everyday world. We talk about things at ECFE much earlier than I did 20 years ago. Video game use, computer use, technology, what you expose your kids to, those kinds of things. And I would piggyback on what Ann said, to really be mindful about the kind of parenting community you want to create. Most people are a little bit concerned about the world that we're bringing our little kids into, and I think when you can be in a room and discuss those concerns, you start to find kind of a community of practice, people who share your values and want to do better by kids, and in that way we make communities better.
So as we reach out to our parents, I mean, do we have a large population of teen parents, or what role do we play in ECFE with teen parents?
Well, ECFE and the Fund One with the district supports the teen parents. We do a wonderful job of giving opportunities to teen parents in our district, and they can come to a regular ECFE class if they want. But if they're still working on their diploma, we have classes for them with support, with hands-on, just like we do with parents that are over the age of 18. We have parent-child activities together, so you can work on getting a book in your child's hand, teach them how to sit to pay attention to a book, all those things while receiving a credit for your high school diploma.
Okay.
And then we have a supporting for classes, and we try to transition them into the adult life of ECFE once they get their diploma. So we kind of try to support them all the way on through.
Wow.
Anne does a really amazing job with our teen parents. I will tell you, because we share a small space in the back of the girls' locker room at Goodview Elementary School, but she consistently cares beyond her job description when she's working with those teen parents in her program.
That's not bad coming from the master.
I know, it's a nice compliment.
Yeah,
It's
that's
the
very
truth,
nice.
though, and you know it.
It's so painful to watch these young parents, and boy, it's so nice to have this thing in place where we can help you and teach you what it's going to be like to be a little part of what it's going to be like to be a parent in this environment. So, what initiatives are underway? What do we got going on over there? Any surprise initiatives, big time initiatives going on that?
I don't know if I should tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Surprises. I might keep one or two to myself, but Anne will be the best person to talk about the Birth to Grade 3 initiative for
I think
sure.
that's probably the newest one. That it's not even really new. It's been going in the community. It's not just district. It's community wide, where we're looking at how we can get all children in our community in Winona ready to be ready for school. And it's not just in our district. And we have outside agencies and programs that work with young families that are trying to build a good community to get every child in our community 0 on up ready so that they're good for school, and to support the parents so the parents feel good about their child being ready for school.
Wow.
And the parents know what to do for school. So that's always fun and exciting, because the state of Minnesota is starting to put some funds there. Winona's a little bit ahead of the game. That's something to brag about for our area.
Absolutely. It is.
And we keep pushing it, and we keep wondering what can we do better for kids and for their parents.
That's wonderful. Anything to add?
Well, with keeping a little bit of the secret, I find myself
Lord.
immersed a little bit in policy. And so I love the movement at the state when they're talking about investing further in early childhood. We are always thinking about what could we do with more funding and more attention paid to us, and so we're ready for that. I get really excited when they talk about funding all day K and then talking about preschool for all, when that starts from the president all the way to our governor, all the way to our state legislators. There's some really interesting things happening. It has felt, I've worked in early childhood for a long time, and it has felt like we've been waiting for a ship to come in, and it is right there now.
Right there.
Yeah, it is nearly ready to beach, and I'll tell you, we're ready for it here in Winona.
What's fascinating is, so when we got the funding for All Day K, the first thing we start thinking about is, well, they're going to have to do a full day, full day pre-K and whatnot. So you guys are asking for it, and it looks like it's coming to fruition finally.
so.
So as we get ready to close out our first segment, I want to ask both of you this question: what makes you smile at the end of a work day? Let's start over here. And what makes you smile at the end of the day?
Well, we only have a little bit of time.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
All my coworkers do. All of us really have a passion for what we do.
Okay.
But I think it's the little stories that I hear from families, the little bits of success, and when they celebrate them with us, and they feel like they are doing well at what they do, that makes my job so worthwhile.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And it's also getting those phone calls to say, hey, do you know what my 7th grader's doing? And it comes back to the ECFE. And when they call you and give you a phone call saying, you know what, I remember what you said in this class, or we're doing really well, and I just wanted to let you know, it just makes a job very, very enjoyable.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. Wonderful to hear.
So working in early childhood is much like parenting young children. So when you get all dressed up to be on TV with the superintendent, you think it's going to last the whole day. You color noodles with dye, and all of a sudden you realize this was not in my control. And so every single day is different, and it surprises me. And I love working in a community the size of Winona, because we go out in the community and people say, oh my goodness, I wish we had ECFE when our kids were in high school, or I remember something that you said all these years later. So there's not a day that isn't great to wake up. Sometimes it's smelly markers that gets me out of bed in the morning. I'm not
okay.
gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
We have good smelling markers.
So I have to tell you, as we close out the first segment, my kids went through ECFE, and to your point, it's not a day goes by without thanking those folks down at that early, helping us move our kids through, and they are so amazing. So I want to thank both of you ladies for coming through and really letting our community see what we do with our babies. We'll be right back after this time out here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The HBC Wizards, located at 67 Main Street in Winona, are local, knowledgeable tech support that you can access for all your home or business technical needs. Conveniently located by our main office, HBC Wizards offer technical consultation, computer setup and repair, home entertainment solutions, virus and spyware removal. Put it this way, if it has something to do with your computer or TV, HBC Wizards can help. And you don't have to be an HBC customer to utilize the HBC Wizards. Walk-ins are welcome. HBC Wizards, technology demystified.
For our second segment, I am so excited. I have both Shrek and Princess Fiona here. They're not in costume or whatnot. So on this far side is my friend Shrek here, and this is Daniel Kapitsky. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's excellent. And then this is Alyssa Leader.
Yep.
I was really nervous that I was going to destroy their names, but I want to welcome both of you here for our second segment. I'm excited because I get to hear about Shrek the Musical. How are you doing?
Good. Very well.
Oh, okay, Daniel, you're kind of quiet over there. You're supposed to be Shrek. You're supposed to be the Okay, so we're all excited. So help me out. What motivated you? First of all, what grade are both of you in?
We're both seniors.
Yeah.
Both
seniors.
both seniors here? Okay, great. So what motivated you to audition for the show? What was it about this musical? Is that something you've been doing all your life, wanting to be in musicals, or what's unique? Let's start with you, Fiona.
Okay. Well, I started doing musicals and plays when I got into high school. I had never really done any acting before that.
Okay.
But I'm not super athletically coordinated.
Okay.
So I decided to give it a try. And then I just kind of fell in love. And then I've been doing all the shows ever since.
Okay, so before I get to you, Shrek, so I asked you before we came in, did you really want to be Fiona, or did you? So go ahead and tell your secret.
Okay, so I really did want to be Fiona.
Okay.
But I didn't want to make it seem like I was like overconfident. I would have been okay with any part really.
Right.
But I'm glad that I got Fiona.
You're glad you got Fiona. Well, okay, we're happy you got it as well. All right, Shrek, you're the guy. It's your title here. So tell me a little bit about it. Have you always wanted to be in this?
Well, I used to act when I was really young, but I kind of stopped after I used to be homeschooled.
Okay.
But when I got to public school, I didn't really do any of that
Right.
because, I just didn't really have the time. But when I got to high school, I was interested, but they weren't really doing anything that I was really interested in. But in 10th grade, they did Jane Eyre, and, I kind of knew about that. And so I auditioned for that. And it was a lot of fun. The people were really nice. So, I continued with it. And
So here you are.
yeah.
With the main character. All right.
Yeah.
So a lot of makeup for Shrek, or is there a lot of makeup, or will they know your face, or will they not know who you are?
I honestly have no idea.
I think it might be a little hard because he has like latex pieces that go on his face and then all green. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
we'll see how much he looks like Daniel, I guess.
So let's start with you, Daniel, on this question. Is this a lot of work for you in plays and things, musicals? Is it a lot of work involved? Like
Yes.
how often do you have to do this? Every day, a couple days, a couple hours, what?
Every day for typically 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours? Okay. How about you? Is it a lot of work?
Yeah, it's different depending on how large of a role you get. But usually if you're a main character, it's every day, 2.5 hours. And then once you get closer and closer to the performance dates, the rehearsals get longer and longer.
Now, do you do it on the weekends as well? As you get closer to November 7th is the kind of the grand start of this, right? So will you have to get together to do Saturday practice, or is it just strictly Monday through Friday type of thing?
Well, every Saturday, starting kind of towards the beginning, actually, we have set building days. So everyone gets together and helps to work on the set. And then also during that time, some people work on lines or dances or songs.
So is that a lot of work, that set building, or, you guys have to do that too, huh?
6 hours.
Is that right? Wow. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So, how many kids are involved in this? This is a big production, this one. So, what are we looking at? We're looking at middle school and high school kids, right? How many kids?
All combined, probably about 60 kids.
Yeah, thereabouts. That sounds
About 60 plus. So, tell me about 4th through 8th grade kids, middle school kids. What's their role? What do they do? I mean, this is so intriguing to me because I'm like, okay, I'm used to high school performances and whatnot, but I saw the all call out for middle school kids. So what does that mean? What is that about?
So there are characters in the play called Happy Villagers or like Little Ogres, and so most of the middle school students fall into that category, and they're kind of just a big group of characters together.
Okay.
And specifically for the Little Ogres, at the beginning of the musical, I'm reading them a giant storybook.
Okay.
Kind of about my life.
So does this musical follow the Shrek movie, or is it goes off on some deep tangent here, or I mean?
Well, it's pretty similar, but just the fact that it has songs in it already kind of makes it have to stray from the typical storyline.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. It's similar, but it definitely has distinct differences.
There's some distinct differences.
It's a little more emotional than the movie Shrek is, just because, like, I feel like Shrek in this is more, I mean, he's still Shrek, but he's more upset about being an ogre and not really, being a part of society.
So there's some deep philosophical things going on with Shrek. Okay. So let me ask you just a question. What's your favorite part of being involved in musical? What is it that you talked a little bit about earlier? What drew you to it? So you said athletics wasn't your thing, but what drew you to it? What is it about the musical that drives you to it? I know, philosophical, I know.
I don't know. For me personally, I always kind of come back because the people that are involved with it are always really just wonderful and unique and so much fun to work with.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the end, it's the people.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Are you nervous? You guys look like you're doing just fine. Are you guys okay? Shrek, you okay? Yeah? Fiona, you doing all right? Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah? You guys don't, that was a kind of a nervous yeah. What is it?
This happens with every show, I guess, but it's usually everything's kind of still coming together right up until the very last second, and then all of a sudden it's just like the show. It's perfect. And
Well, you know what surprised me was when you said that you guys hadn't had a full practice yet. And I'm just, as a former coach, I'm like, oh my gosh, so they haven't tied it all together yet. You haven't tied it together?
Well, we've run Act 1 and then we've run Act 2, but we've never done it, one day we're running Act 1, and then the same day we're also running Act 2.
So we haven't done that yet. Or you have?
No, not yet.
Okay. So that makes you a little bit nervous?
yeah, it's a little bit nerve-wracking.
Okay. I'm going to try to, is this a show for the entire family? Is it for kids? Is there some stuff in there that maybe little kiddos shouldn't be seeing, or what?
I'd say that most of it is family-oriented for sure.
Most of it? What happened with Shrek here? Why is Shrek has veered off, so it's not for every kid? Give me something. Tell me about it. What makes it uniquely different? What makes it different? Why isn't it for every kid? Language, or is it?
No, it's got basically the same languages as the movie Shrek. I mean, there's nothing really different there.
Yeah, it just depends on your parenting style, I guess, because specifically there is the character donkey, and there is another way to describe a donkey that some people find inappropriate.
Yes,
so
yes.
it's really not bad,
Good
but
point. Good.
it depends on who you are.
Because even when I was saying which are the characters, you guys even hesitated to tell me. I mean, and I was like, "You mean donkey?" You know, you were like, "Yeah, donkey. That's it." Okay, I got you. So I kind of want to go back to just because I got about 5 minutes left, or a little less than 5 minutes, and I really wanted to just kind of talk about. Have you been in? I think you talked a little bit about it, Daniel. Been in musicals before. Have you been in musicals before? Okay, and what?
This is my fourth musical.
Your fourth. So as you've come up, this is something you've just wanted to do. So previous to this one, what else were you in?
Last year, the musical was called Spamalot.
Spamalot. Okay. Okay.
It was very funny.
Very funny.
And then,
That's a funny name.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
the year before it was Alice in Wonderland. And then my freshman year, we did Secret Garden.
Secret Garden. Okay. So you are pro at this. Good for you. Good for you. How about you, Dan?
Well, when I was younger, I was in musicals. My first one was Jungle Book.
Jungle Book.
I was a monkey.
Is that right?
I was 6 years old, and I auditioned. And at first, I was a little nervous because I was like, well, it said that you were supposed to be 7, but I was really close to being 7.
Right.
And so they let me in anyways.
All right.
And then my next performance was King and I
Is that right?
through HCO.
Were you the king?
No, I was just one of the many children
Okay.
in that production.
Wonderful.
And then Frog Prince was the next one, and I was a swamp thing who had like I think our motion was this,
See, everyone on we even got movement here. This is good.
and we did it for 3 hours pretty much every night. I think it might have been a little bit longer. So by the end of every rehearsal, my arms would be pretty much dead.
Okay.
And then my final one that I did before coming to the high school was Peter Pan,
Wow.
and that was a lot of fun.
Were you a lost boy? Or?
Yeah, I was a lost boy in that.
All right.
And then last year we did Spamalot, and I was a Frenchman, and I was Ozzy Osbourne, and
Now, that's an interesting take on things. Okay.
and I was a monk. And then I was a monk again who came on stage after the Black Knight's arms get torn off, and I picked them up and I put them in my basket.
All right. That's an interesting character there. All right, so we're down towards the end, and I think I would be remiss if we didn't let the family. I know they're all excited about coming to see you folks and doing your thing. Tell us the time and the dates. Do you have them memorized, the dates and the times?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so Fiona, go ahead. Or I don't care, Shrek.
So the performances are the 7th, 8th, and 14th of November at 7 o'clock.
Yep.
And then the 15th of November at 1 p.m. And then it's at the middle school.
Yeah, all the performances are at the middle school because they have a nice pit.
Yeah.
So we have
And
a
the
great
orchestra.
pit orchestra
Yeah.
working with us.
And the acoustics are better there too.
Excellent. The acoustics are better.
Yeah.
That's important, Shrek. So here we are. We're down to I've got the 1 minute here from our folks. Any final thoughts you want to say about your role at Shrek the musical? I'm really excited as their superintendent. I really am excited. Don't act like you don't know me when I'm in the crowd on the night. I'm going to be like, go, yay. Anything final you want to say real quick?
Just expect a lot of singing.
A lot of singing. A man, a few words, Shrek. Anything, Princess Fiona?
I would just say that I just want to let everyone know that the tickets are $5 for students and senior citizens and $7 for adults. And they're available at Hy-Vee, Midtown Foods, the Winona Senior High School Activity Office, and online at the district website also. And we are expecting that it's going to be a great show, so you should get your tickets right away.
Thank you both very, very much. That was very exciting. I had a great time. I bet you're going to go and look at this on TV one of these days. I wanted to thank our community again. Thank you very much for coming in and listening to me babble with some fantastic people for my second go around here. This concludes our second episode of Making the Grade, and we look forward to seeing you again in the future. Thank you very much, and we'll see you very, very soon.